Despite the scenic nature of wrestling competitions, participants often suffer injuries that require a long period of rehabilitation. Most often, such incidents occur as a result of accidents or when one of the participants makes a serious mistake. However, sometimes a stage fight can escalate into a real and violent fight, as a result of which wrestling fans and the media discuss it. What causes such aggression that a person's teeth are gnashing? Let me show you some examples of how an ordinary fight can turn into a tough and intense fight. Hi, I just recently returned to YouTube and I don't know what will happen with this video, but please help me. Like, write a comment and subscribe, I hope for you. In 2006, at the ECW One Night Stand show, there was a clash between the stars of WWE and ECW. However, it was JBL and the Blue Mini that deserved the most attention in this crowd. The first one struck the second one in the face with very hard blows, and after a few moments it became clear that things were bad. The Blue Mini was bleeding and his eye was badly damaged. However, as the performer himself later noted, although JBL struck hard, the bleeding was due to cuts he received in a recent match. JBL himself, when he got behind the scenes, immediately began to apologize to his opponent, stating that it happened completely by accident. But the Blue Mini didn't hold any grudge, as similar situations do take place in wrestling. Probably one of the most famous incidents of recent years. In 2018, at the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar defended his World Championship in a match against Braun Strowman and Kane. At one point, Strowman slightly miscalculated his strength and made a strong knee blow to Lesnar's head. Lesnar was disoriented for a couple of seconds, but immediately after that he decided to take revenge on Braun so that he would no longer allow himself such hard punches. Lesnar hit Braun very hard on the head with a boxing combination, from which Strowman was also disoriented and, probably, simply shocked by such a strong response. Also at the moment of the combination, Brock told Braun to slow down with his daring attacks. Apparently, this situation was not the most pleasant for Strowman, but it was an effective lesson so that such situations would not happen again in the future. As noted in an interview, immediately after the match, Braun and Brock shook hands, thereby rejecting any chance of a real conflict. Ken Shamrock is a legendary performer who began his career in mixed martial arts. He also fought at the very first UFC show, and in 1997 he made his wrestling debut when he signed a contract with WWF. He had his first fight on the show in Your House under the rules of no holds barred against Vader. Given the background of both performers, it was not difficult to guess that this would be a tough confrontation. Shamrock is an MMA fighter, and Vader is a former NFL football player. As a result, during this match, the performers constantly struck hard and the audience saw perfectly well that this was not just wrestling, but already something beyond it. Well, the most unpleasant moment of that fight was Shamrock's sharp lunge towards Vader, after which he had a broken nose. Of course, there was no real enmity between the wrestlers, since initially before the fight they agreed to hold a really brutal duel. And another tough match involving Vader, in which the latter was again quite seriously injured. He and Stan Hansen weren't afraid to add a little realism to wrestling matches, but one day things went too far. At the NJPW Super Fight in the Tokyo Dome in 1990, a really dangerous match took place between the wrestlers. At that time, Stan was playing in the competing AJPW promotion, so he did not limit himself too much in the ring. In one episode of this match, Hansen put too much pressure on his opponent's eye, which even caused him to pop out of his eye socket a little. It was a real injury. Vader even thought that he had already lost an eye, but, fortunately, everything turned out fine. Of course, this situation became a wake-up call for both performers, who in the future tried to hold matches with more caution. And the last case for today occurred in the match of Charlotte Flair against Nia Jax. As we all know, Jax found herself in the spotlight all the time because of her lack of professionalism. In many matches, she inflicted serious injuries on her rivals, and she never got anything for it. There was an interesting fight on Raw. Apparently, Nia and Charlotte had a conflict, and it was evident from the very beginning of the match. Rough punches, dangerous movements. Even the commentators were shocked by what was happening. All this continued with rough pushing and slapping. The wrestlers clearly went beyond what was allowed, and it was clear how aggressive they were. What really happened between them is unknown. However, Jax was soon stripped of her contract with WWE. Some people believe that this conflict and unprofessionalism are the main reasons for the dismissal, although authoritative sources note that it is not the desire to be vaccinated against COVID-19, as well as the banal cost reduction of the company, that is to blame. Well, that's it. Don't forget to like and write a comment to promote the video. Subscribe, there will be a lot of interesting things here. Bye.